Hi guys, my name is Tom Olango. I'm a musician and a concert producer. I run a company called Jamhuri Events, and I'm here to share my journey on into depression, out of it, and basically, yeah. First of all, I'd like to say my thanks to Bonga for this amazing platform that has been created for guys to talk, which, as the name suggests, goes a long way, talking. I don't know where to start. I'd say I can start with maybe what I do. So I mentioned I'm a guitarist or I'm a musician. So I'm a session player, a bass player, and guitarist. And I started playing music from I think when was it? 2007 when I was still in Form 1. And after high school, I was fortunate enough to play for a bunch of artists and a bunch of top artists from, name it, like a bunch of top Kenyan artists, Elani, Matrax, Cancel, Waire. And after some time, I'd say I got frustrated, or not frustrated, I got tired of, doing the same thing over and over, routine. I felt like there was something lacking. And I started an event production company to sort of fill that gap that I felt existed. In so doing, we'd script a performance and make sure that, if we go up on stage as performers, then we give you more than what you feel, or more than what you see. And to that extent, we ended up hosting our first gig back in 2015. Was an amazing gig. We had amazing Kenyan artists. It was an all Kenyan music festival. Jamhuri Festival is the name. And I think we had about 33 artists. Yeah, we had about 33 artists and I think 4 DJs. And it was a chronological journey of Kenyan music, Kenyan pop music over the past 2 decades. So, to cut the long story short, the event was a success, a major success, at least according to my standards and according to a couple of guys' standards. And where to go next? that was the looming question, Like, what do you do after you feel like you've already done something amazing? Like, what's a step up? And I was quite young as well at that time. I think I was 22 turning 23. I was 22 turning 23. And came at an early age, I guess. Maybe not so early, but at an early age because we weren't properly prepared in, I guess, school systems. And after that, I sort of kept pushing the envelope, kept trying to get opportunities, kept trying to do gigs. It wasn't easy. It was super tough because it's hard to get the capital to do things. It's hard to get the capital to do gigs at the level that I hoped I'd be doing. And I was also balancing school at that time. My folks had also just moved, and a 22-year-old who has big dreams, but not so many people who want to, or who at that point seemed to pay attention. I would get frustrated. I ended up getting frustrated about, progress in the industry. I felt things aren't going as they should. And I don't know, maybe it gave birth to, or it gave an opportunity rather to things that had been there for a very long time, and they felt like this is the perfect time to just come out and, let's seize the opportunity and let's make the most out of it. So from about 2015 through to end of 2016, actually from about 2015 to end of 2016 was quite some tough times. Tough and interesting times, because I remember at the same time I was fortunate enough to to play with Ali Kiba, actually courtesy of Koroga Festival. Shout out to Koroga Festival in Capital FM. And they really liked what we did here, and that meant, or that gave a chance, an opportunity for us to do production for Ali Kiba in Kenya and in Tanzania, which was amazing. You know, like getting a call after a gig. You know, usually you, as a session musician, you play for an artist and you probably won't see or hear from them again. But I think about a week after, we got a call like, hey, what's up? I want you guys to come to Tanzania and so that you can do more gigs. It felt like, okay, things are starting to work out. And to an extent, they were starting to work out. Though the only thing is, at that time, I don't think I had the patience. I was unable to balance a lot of things. I was unable to balance school. I was unable to balance work. I was unable to balance, by work I mean session playing, and I was unable to balance this other thing that was now born, the baby that's the production company. And I think almost everyone that I was interacting with who would be potential partners or potential sponsors, like I sort of felt like I deserved it. Not to say that I don't deserve it, but I sort of felt like, you know, that money that's yours, it's mine actually, you know, or something like that. I don't know how best to put it, but I sort of felt frustrated that things aren't working, at least to that respect. And at the same time, I was still, you know, juggling music and school. Of course, as you can tell, if I was traveling frequently, that meant school was really not a priority, because, you know, you can miss school and you can do your makeups and you can do all that, but I didn't even pay much attention because at that time, like, I had a know-it-all attitude. And simply because I was just like going deep into my thoughts. I was thinking so much about, you know, this and this and that, overthinking even, you know. And during the travels, or as a musician, you know, there's this superstition, there's this belief, I wouldn't call it superstition, there's this belief that musicians are usually either drug addicts or, as my folks would say, are consumed by earthly pleasures. Yes, earthly pleasures is the right word. Are consumed by earthly pleasures, from drugs to money to, you know, sex and all those things. And I don't think it's just for musicians, honestly, but that's a conversation for another day. So in that moment, in that time frame, between 2015 and end of 2016, I sort of found myself not taking particularly good care of myself. I believe there's four realms. I believe there's the body that we see. I believe there's a mind that helps the body to function and brings to life so many things that help us be. I believe there's a spirit which guides our decisions. And I believe there's the heart, which determines our emotion and how we react to things. So during that period, I felt like I wasn't fully taking care. I didn't even know, I don't think I even gave attention to, you know, what to believe in terms of, you know, the human being, you know. And with that said, my spirituality was super outside. My body, I wasn't taking care of it. I wasn't eating right. I wasn't drinking water. It didn't mean a thing almost to me. And at the same time, I started smoking weed as well, which you can smoke, is not bad. Just take care of yourself if you're going to do it. But I started smoking a lot of weed, and that meant, you know, anything that takes away from your body, dehydrates you, and you're not taking care of yourself, your body, your mind, then it's not right for you. Or at least how you do it is not right for you. So I started smoking a lot of weed, and to some extent as well, at some points, they might have been laced by other substances, and that also just super heightened my negative thoughts or the negative energy around me, and I could show, I momentarily dropped out of school because I never used to go to class. And the one time I went to class, I think I slept. And the lecturer woke me up and I was super rude to him. I apologize if you're watching this. And, like it just got to my head, like a lot of negative, clouded thoughts in my mind. And I remember the one time that I felt like things are not going right would actually turn out to be the one time that would change everything for me. I had gone for a jam session with a friend, an amazing musician, and that particular night at his house in Syokimau, I had suicidal thoughts. I think the previous weeks before that, I had had some sleep ups. I took down art that I had made off of the wall in my house. And on that particular night, I felt like there's something that's out to get me. And it was easier for me, for my body, for myself, for my spirit, for everything, for me, myself to get rid of me before they did, or before he did, or before she did. I don't remember. I don't think I know what was happening. And as I was thinking through how best to get rid of my life, I was thinking either I should jump or I should, strangle myself, or with a rope. Those are the two options that came to mind. But in between, I stumbled on my phone and called a friend I hadn't called in a very long time, Alan, a fellow musician, an amazing leader and brother.